A good Woch, and good week. It's a fantastic Chodesh year that we are into. Um, hmm, okay. So we're starting with Hashem day. We counted 21 days to the Omer, which is 3 weeks. Malchus Batiferes. And the story goes as follows. Once a very famous doctor came to uh, Duchess in town. And the Duchess, praised the Baal Shem Tov, the Baal Shem HaKadosh. He said he's a great person and a great doctor. By the way, it says, I don't know if you know, but it in the Chaver Kadisha, throughout the generations, always kept, a log of all the people during that time and any noteworthy people, whatever. And there is a registry from this Baal Shem Tov, Baal Shem Tov in Mezhibosh, and it says that his profession, his declared profession, he was a doctor. Sick people used to come to him to get healed. How he healed them is one thing. It's other doctors, different things. So the doctor said, let them send to the Baal Shem Tov. Let him come to the house of the Duchess. So Duchess says, she said, according to the grandeur, the cover of the Baal Shem Tov, to send, a coach, a fancy coach, like, they do for important people. So she sent this coach to the Rav, to Baal Shem Tov, and he came. So the doctor asked the Baal Shem Tov, is it true that he's a doctor? He says, true. And he said, where did you learn? Like which university, which med school you went to? And he said, Hashem Yisbarach taught me. Well, the doctor heard what Baal Shem Tov said, and he did what doctors do. He started laughing. So he asked the Baal Shem Tov, do you know to check the pulse in the heart? The medicine, especially those days, was based a lot on the ability to diagnose the pulses, the 10 different pulses. And until deep into the 20th century, late 20th century, in countries like India and such places where at the time machinery were not as plentiful as they were in the West, the doctors were able to diagnose things from the pulse. The way in the West that had all the machinery already forgot because they lost the touch. Don't know anymore. It takes incredible sensitivities and expertise. So this doctor asked the Baal Shem Tov, do you know how to check the pulse, the heart pulse? So Baal Shem Tov said the doctor, get this doctor, and he made him a proposition. So here, I have a lack in my pulse. Come check my heart and see if you can tell what is lacking in my heart, and then I will check yours. So the doctor checked the pulse of the Baal Shem Tov, and he realized there's something missing, but he could not know what it is. The truth is that the Baal Shem Tov was sick with love to Hashem Yisbarach. But the doctor, it was way beyond his pain grade. I mean, the doctor could not understand such a thing. So then the Baal Shem Tov checked the pulse of the doctor. And he turned to the Duchess and he asked her, if she had specific precious items stolen from her. So she said, yeah, it was stolen from me already years ago. I don't know where it is. Baal Shem Tov says, go ahead and check in the house of the doctor and open up his chest, whatever he stores things. You didn't find everything there. The Duchess sent her servants to check in the house of the doctors, and she found exactly what Baal Shem Tov said. And the doctor left there, obviously tremendously embarrassed. Very interesting story. You know, the thing is that they keep on believing. The problem is really not between Torah and science. That's not the problem. The problem is between Torah and scientists. Scientists are believers since the days of Aristotle. I mean, Aristotelian science has been basically applied all the way from the days of Aristotle, which is 300 samad, before the Common Era, all the way to the 19th century. Tremendous influence. The idea was they were looking for a way of explaining why the world behaves the way it does, while keeping out from the equation. That's the name of the game. How do you explain the world without Kadosh Baruch Hu? And the thing is that it keeps on getting more and more ludicrous as science advances. And what they learn in science is they cannot come to any kind of conclusion except that the Kadosh Baruch Hu created the world. So, but it's against their belief. It's against their religion. Their religion is that you're supposed to count out Kadosh Baruch Hu. Because if a Kadosh Baruch Hu is in the picture, first of all, everything that they say doesn't mean anything. Okay. If you study it the way to understand the greatness of Hashem, okay, so there's value to what they're saying. Other than that, whatever value what they're searching for is giving to those who serve Hashem, that's the value that they have. Anything else is nonsense. But the point is that the main thing is that the Chochmas HaTeva, the natural sciences, is the biggest. I mean, that the biggest impediment to emunah, that the Kadosh Baruch Hu is behind everything that there is. Now, there's something in physics that they called the 25 constant numbers in creation, the size of the electron or whatever, the mass of the electron, whatever. And they used to think that those numbers are arbitrary. Now, these are the constant numbers without which the world could not possibly exist, definitely not support life. Now, the more they used to be like, that's the deepest mystery of science, is why these numbers are exactly the numbers that they are. And they have actually come to the conclusion as they're going on that there is the fine-tuning. These numbers are not arbitrary. These numbers are pre-designed so with such precision. It's called the fine-tuning of the constant numbers of creation, to the point it's not possible in any way, shape, or form to explain it without a superior intelligence putting it all together. But Scientists don't give up. They don't give up. Now they have a brand new explanation. And if you have any seichel, you will just hear what they're saying, and you will burst out laughing. They claim now, you know why these concerts are? This kind of fine tuning, which is not possible unless it is pre-designed, is the way it is. It's not. It's not. It's not done, pre. They say, you know what the explanation is? They said there's infinite number of universes that are unobservable all at the same time. It's called metaverse. Beautiful name. By the way, it's not known. This particular chokhmah was already, first thought up 2,000 years ago in the late 19th century, each time using, more up-to-date, scientifically sounding names. And they say, the infinite number of universes, all kinds of universes, and we happen to be on the one where all these things fit together, and ta-da, there's the world, perfect world with life and everything, and all the constants, everything mashes together, everything's fine too. But it's unobservable. It's not even a scientific theory, because you can't disprove it. It's gunish tuyot. When you actually think, when you actually come to think about it, that means that there's a universe that is run with an iron fist by Bugs Bunny. all the possibilities are open. There's a world in which Snow White and seven dwarfs run the show. I mean, all the possibilities are there. So this is what. I mean, it's just so stupid. It's so stupid, but it's a belief. It's faith. They believe it. So they come, they have this explanation, how come, but it's not observable. You can't prove it, you can't disprove it. It's nothing, it's gulnished. Anybody has a shtickle seichel just sees. I'm not even talking about the physics of it, which is nonsense. But it gives, and the thing is that this is stepping towards becoming the truth. In other words, people repeat it and repeat it and repeat it and repeat it and repeat it until it's like, wow, that's the truth. Like they used to say, when they dare suggest in America, maybe you teach, what they call the intelligent creation. That creation stems from, was created by supreme intelligence. And the scream was like, how dare you? How dare you teach something like this? Something that when somebody is making fun of tzaddikim, you know that they stole something. They know that they're hiding something. Let's take a look at Sichos Haran for this week. And we'll take a look at it. Well, it has to do with what we're talking about. Today is Sicha 272. One of the people was a lightweight. Came to Rabbeinu in one town and boasted that he is very, very well versed in the languages of the Goyim. And now in their, like their courts, whatever it is, their soifrim, their sages, whatever it is, there was a certain word that they didn't know how to read it well. And he explained it to them. He told them what it was all about. And this person was so proud that he's so well versed in the languages of the Goyim that he can explain to them something that their greatest learned experts do not know. And afterwards, the person left. And Rabbeinu Zechron who was making fun of him. He said, such godless, such. He's so proud for such shtisim, such nonsense. And one of the Rabbeinu's people was sitting there, was an amazing London and big Shemaim, and he said to Rabbeinu, maybe it's better that he has pride from such tuyot than somebody that has godless chas v'chalila, is proud and has haughtiness from divrei Torah. Maybe it's better that he is proud of shtisim than he would be proud of divrei Torah. So Rabbeinu remains silent a while, and then afterwards he says, Adomen, the opposite is true. Chazal said in Maseches Brochas about Rabbi Akiva that was caught, he was put in jail by the Romans for teaching Torah. And in jail, he met Papas, was caught with very material, was caught stealing, whatever. So Papas said to Rabbi Akiva that you were caught in divrei Torah. And well to Papas that was caught on Shtesim. Because the Rabbeinu says Sefer Amidas that the punishment for haughtiness is incarceration. It's in the Torah the Siman 22 in the first Torah, in the first Chelik Likutei Moharan. In Likutei Tanino, in Torah 63. It speaks about this union of the incarceration of Rabbi Akiva. So it is therefore found that pride, which is punishable by incarceration, when it becomes on divrei Torah, is still better than haughtiness and pride that is a result of dvarim b'telim, of shtuyot. You know, somebody sent me a link of the last lecture by a very noted lawyer. Like, he was known as the best I ever had in this particular place. And he gave this, they have this in the university. And he at the end of his life, this particular was a religious Jew. He was a Litvak, and he learned in Ponivish, extremely intelligent. And during his later years, before he passed away, he got to know Arav Tzvi Cheshin, Hashem Yishmereu, who is a Breslaver and a Talmid Chochem. And he got close, he started learning Breslov. So this particular gathering was one in which they were talking about, like, each note, a person of note would give this lecture about what is he leaving for the next generation, whatever this was. He was speaking for about an hour and a half. And this was recommended to me by somebody that I hold of very much, and I listened to it from beginning to end. And it was fraught with dissection of philosophy, this philosopher, that philosopher, this, that, whatever it is. And he learned philosophy in university and this before he learned, law and so forth and so on. And at the end, he got to Rabbi Nachman. And I heard this hour and something lecture. And I said to myself, you could have given this lecture in 20 minutes, 15 minutes. You have to go through this one and that philosopher and that philosopher and that philosopher and that philosopher and this and this and this and that. And I like went, why? 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 Why all this nonsense? Why? And the answer was very simple. For an hour and something, he was showing off how he knew and understood what every idiotic philosopher said. And they were all very proud of themselves because they couldn't think so deeply into whatever they were thinking, but the whole thing was a shtus. You talk about one philosopher, Albert Camus, that his main question is, why not commit suicide? Wonderful. Wow, man, you are like so amazing. How stupid can you be? And he also, this philosopher would not make the jump between this and because it was Kodesh Baruch Hu was created you. No, 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 no. Aristotelian, whatever you want to call it. When he finally went to government, because Rabbeinu asked a question which is even more profound, is how can the world exist altogether? He was giving, okay, whatever, okay. Don't have that much time in this world. We simply don't have that much time in this world. The thing is, we have to understand that we are preparing a brain, a mind for the world to come. This mind needs to be as clean as possible from all licentious thoughts, any kind of debris, any kind of nonsense, any kind of poison, whatever it is, as much as you can. You don't have enough time on this earth to deal with. When you're learning Torah, at least, okay, so you're taking it wrong and you're proud and whatever it is, but at least you're learning Torah, preparing your mind for the world to come. That's it. He knows all the philosophers, you know what all the fancy word mean. Fortunate are the people that let go of all these nonsense and prepare themselves an open mind. Keep your mind clean of unnecessary data, especially when it's to do with Chachmei HaTeva or with sciences, as we learn in the territory of Dalet, that we learn every Thursday, that this is the name of the game right now. That's the thing that blocks everything. And clean the thoughts. If there's a thought that comes to the head, which is not the way it's supposed to be, you're thinking about something you shouldn't be thinking of. Close it up. Keep your mind clean. Shem should help us with Hashem. Have a fantastic week. So the Baal Shem HaKodesh, so the Rabbeinu HaKadosh, Rabbi Nachman ben Fege. And at Hashem will be Zocher to have Yeshuas and Nechomas and the main thing, actually the one thing that he said in this particular discourse of an hour and a half was that the ultimate answer to everything was the nigun, was the melody. Fine. I'm not going to go into a discourse of an hour and a half. But there's one thing which was for sure. And that is, there is a realm of thought. Some people are people of thought. They're deep, they're thinkers, they're whatever. They're comedians, they're philosophers, whatever it is. They're lots of on the Torah, whatever. Then the people of deed, not doing, not doing. Then there is the people of the heart. There's the heart. That's the feelings of everything. And above all, there is something which is called the nigun. That's the Parshas Shavuot or Parshas Mitzorah talks about leper. It comes of Dvarim B'Teilim. It comes out of Lashon Hara, of saying, slanderous speech. The thing that determines whether your life is happy or not is the melody in your life. When the melody is sweet, when the melody is pleasurable, you live a good life. Sometimes a person lives a very depressed, very heavy life. That's because the melody is heavy. There's a certain kind of rhythm, certain kind of melody, a sort of sing-song to your life. And this is something which is influenced by what you say, or what you see, or what you think, especially by what you say. That's why when people say things they shouldn't say, they become lepers. Not leper, outside leprosy, but inside leprosy. Life becomes heavy. Life becomes, yeah, bitter. When you say good things, when you stop yourself from being bad things and say good things, you are preparing for yourself a marvelous melody for your life. Let Hashem, God should help us. We just finished finishing the week of Tiferes, of splendor, by counting 21 days. And let Hashem will have a wonderful, wonderful melody to our lives, to our month, and to our years, to our days, and to our minutes, and to our milliseconds. And because a good life is by loving the life you live and saying good things about it. And say good things about it. Shem Yazor, have a good week. Kol Tov to everyone. Bye-bye.